Okay, I'm not even really sure where to start with this. Part of my homework for my counseling that I do every week, some of you, or a lot of you that have followed my story and are friends with me on Facebook or on my other group that I have on Facebook for people that are dealing with similar health issues. I've never really shared the full extent of trauma that I've gone through my entire life. These health issues are just what I'm currently battling, and they kind of block my mind from thinking of the previous trauma, and I can get into that in a different video. Right now, I think I'm just struggling with not only feeling alone and, not purposely. My family tries. They try to understand as best as they can. But, I just got out of a 10-day stint in the hospital, admitted for a very severe bacterial infection in my kidney that was borderline septic. I was there for 10 days and home for a couple more, and then now today I had to drive down to Cincinnati to go be seen at the Cleveland Clinic tomorrow for some neurological issues that I'm having, whether it's related to my stroke that I had in 2013 or if this is a new thing that's starting. So I have pretty much a full day tomorrow at the Cleveland Clinic. I'm at the hospital currently, hotel across the street from the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio. I drove out here this morning by myself. Everybody's got things going on, and I think I try to not burden them with as much as possible because it's hard for me. It's hard for me to go through these things. And I can only imagine how hard it is for them to go through that. There are definitely days where I wish that they were here to, any of them, even my older kids, but my husband especially, even though I know he's dealing with an insane amount of PTSD from being a police officer, and I don't want to put more on him. And usually, I think the fact that I don't remember the last time that I haven't had to go through some sort of trauma myself. I've depended on me, myself, and I to get myself through that, whether it go to counseling or use whatever's available to me to be able to get through those things. But I'm getting exhausted, and I feel like my coping skills are not what they used to be. And I miss them. It's hard for me to go on Facebook or even look outside and see families doing things that I only wish I could do. And it's hard for me when I get texts or calls about how are you doing, or how are you feeling today, or did this help, or do you feel better now? It's hard for me to answer that because I don't ever feel better. And that's the crappy part. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but I can't remember the last day that I didn't have pain or didn't feel sick or weren't having symptoms where my legs were going out on me or memory problems or so fatigued that I physically have to use every ounce of courage to just get up and do the simplest things. And I hide a lot from my kids. I hide a lot from them because I don't want them to remember me like this. You know, maybe that's a topic for another discussion, but that is one of my biggest fears right now is, what do I want them to remember me by when I'm gone? Do I want them to remember, oh, Mom had to go away all the time to doctor's appointments, and she was always had bruises on her arm, and she was always crying in pain, and couldn't go up the stairs, and couldn't do this and couldn't do that, and we couldn't go here? Or do I want them to remember how strong I was and that they can get through anything in life because I did? I'm trying, at least. That's all I really can do. And as I sit here in this hotel room getting ready for another full day of appointments and repeating my story and pokes and prods and different doctors, and it's difficult, but it's also demeaning. It's hard because I feel like some days I wish they would. This is horrible to say, and I realize that, but sometimes I really do wish that they would say, yes, you have cancer here, or it's multiple sclerosis, or it's this, just something. I don't even care what the diagnosis is anymore. I just want a diagnosis. I want hope, because I still have hope. After all these years, I have hope that they're going to figure something out and why my body keeps doing this. I know that there are so many people out there, especially women, that are going through things like this that not many people can relate to. I've had well over 25 surgeries in my entire life. I've had people not believe me. Some still don't. And I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. And angry and 50 other million emotions. I'm just feeling lost right now. And I know that I'm not alone. And I started writing this in my journal, and I just got lost into, I don't know what I want to write. So that's why I'm doing this video, because I know that I'm not the only one out there that is dealing with health problems, severe health problems. I'm disabled right now. I can't work because I have such bad flare-ups that I can't move. I'm having falls. I could go down the list, but I have had the struggle of feeling betrayed by my body almost my entire life. And if any of you know what body betrayal is, it's feeling like you have no control. And at every moment, your brain wants to do those things, but your body betrays you and doesn't let you. And then in turn, you feel guilty for the people that you're letting down. Not only yourself, but your family, your husband, your spouse, your partner. You can't win in either way. So I'm just trying to hold out to hope. I'm hoping that someday they will find some sort of diagnosis, or at least give me a way to have a better quality of life. If that's what God intends, I'm leaving it in His hands, but I'm human, and I'm gonna have these moments where all I want to do is sit and cry, because I do miss my family, and I wish things were different. I feel like I push myself. I push myself so much for them and for me, but mainly for them, because I want to see them grow up. I want to see them get married. I want to see and experience all the grandkids. I want to watch all the kids graduate. I just want to be here. If that's God's will. If it's not, then, I do pray every day that He gives me a sign or gives me something, and the closest thing I can get is that He's telling me to share my story. That's the only thing that I can say that I have felt in my heart, that God wants me to share my story for others that are going through it, because I know there are others. So if you are going through health battles or mental struggles, you're not alone. You can always reach out to me. There's always a purpose. There is always a purpose. And if we wake up every day, that means we still have a purpose. It may not be tomorrow or next week or next month that we find that purpose, but I'm going to hold out hope that I still have a purpose here. And regardless of how much it hurts, and how lonely I get, and how much of a burden I feel on my family, and how alone I feel. Not to their fault, because they try. But I do hide a lot from them, like I said. But it does suck. It just does. It sucks to feel so many things and not be able to share them with someone who understands where that's coming from. I would give anything. I would give anything. I would do anything to not have this body, to not have gone through the trauma that I've gone through. But it is what it is. And it's made me who I am. And I have to use that. And use the strength that I got from getting out of that to get through this and the next mountain that God gives me to climb. So I guess for now, instead of diving into too much, it was just easier to, I guess, blurt out the words and make a video on this instead of writing down how I'm feeling. I'm gonna try my best to get to sleep and get through the day tomorrow and then drive the 5-hour ride home and just do the best I can, because that's all I ever do, is do the best you can.